if we can ever find a way.
My work is here now, Commander. But your power and mine will cross again.
Welcome, everyone, to Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnson, and with me, as always, is Mike. He'll never leave me alone. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Oh, I won't.
Yeah, you're
Hi,
always
Johnson. You're the one who slacks me at 8:30, 8:15 in the morning almost every day.
It's true. I'm like, hey, Bueller, are you there?
With lots of exclamation points. How are you today? It's Wednesday.
You asking me?
Is there someone else on this
I know,
podcast?
I'm just making sure you're asking me.
Did Anthony Rapp show up to be with us?
I'm doing okay. How are you? I'm tired though today. Today's been a long work day, but we are getting to the end of the week. We're almost there. How have you been? How's been your day? How has your day been?
Wow, English is not
fail.
easy.
Yeah. English is difficult.
I'm good. It's been a busy week as well. A lot of wrapping up for the year end, which ends on June 30th for me. So a lot happening with meetings and budgets and meetings and budgets and just
Meetings.
wrapping up everything. So
I'm familiar with the meeting life, hashtag meeting life.
yes.
Yeah.
But it's mostly setting up, it's coordinating a lot of meetings. So that's the problem. Like you're sending emails and trying to coordinate people. And, I had like 20 emails going back and forth with this one person.
Are these people outside the organization?
This particular one was, yes. And through no fault of his own. I mean, because it is the end of the year, it is taken, he's trying to get a colleague into this meeting with our group. And it's just...
Why don't you use Doodle? You should just use Doodle.
I have for something. I do use Doodle for some things, but for these external meetings, I usually have to fit things into pockets of time. So it doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to get them in as soon as I can, and everyone's trying to get things done by June 30th. So, but it all worked out, and now we're, trying to plan for the summer as well before people go on vacation. So it's just a lot going on, and I am 3 weeks away from my vacation, which is exciting.
You're very excited for it. You're very pumped.
Yes, I am. I'm leaving the computer behind. We're going to record ahead of time and queue up our episodes so that they're all done. And I'm really looking forward to 2.5 weeks of pretty much almost total disconnection.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I complete disconnected.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We've got all our plans finalized. And it's going to be great. So,
wait, do you have like a itinerary all planned out, or what? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, unlike when we travel with you, we do not need a spreadsheet of timetables and things and daily tasks.
It helps if you want to make reservations and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. There are certain pieces of that are helpful, yes, but also we are just much more laid back. We're like, pick a night, or we go with whatever can be scheduled. So we had to schedule a luau on a Monday night, which is fine.
Yeah.
So it seems like things are going to be really busy in Hawaii. So, and I am a little nervous because we have to get a COVID test before we go, 48 hours before we go. Yeah. So, I mean, we're both vaccinated, but there is, Dennis has seen some proof that people who are vaccinated have been positive.
Yeah, you can get it, and you're just not very sick. Like,
Yeah, it's more like a cold, and so I'm super nervous because if we have positive test results, we
like
can't
Hawaii
go.
won't let you in, or you can't get on the plane.
Hawaii will not let you in. It's a Hawaii thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So that would be really, really,
What about Vegas? They don't care, right? They're like everyone can come in.
no. Yeah, I think continental US is fine. I think it's because it's an island country, and so it's almost international, sort of. So,
Is it though?
I mean, it's 6 hours. It's a long flight. It takes us all day to get
It is
there.
a little far. It's far.
Yeah. So,
As is
but-
Vegas. Vegas is also kind of far. It's like
yeah, I didn't realize how far Vegas was,
Vegas is
and
far, bitch.
I know it's like 5 hours. Our flights are
Yeah.
5 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that because I mean, you can get from New York to San Francisco in like 5.5.
Well, it's far.
But yeah, so that's coming up, and then
Are you
we
excited
get
about
back.
Vegas?
Yeah,
Or is it like
yeah.
so far that you're just like,
No, because all of my work pre-planning is based around these two vacations. So, and I don't think I'll bring my computer to Vegas, but maybe we will just to record a few.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna record there or something.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little recording, but I don't want to do any work, so I don't want people to know that I'm bringing my laptop.
Available.
Yes, available. So, yeah, I'm excited about Vegas. Our network just announced the Fan Geeks party, and
The one that you teased like 2 weeks ago.
Right. But now they've announced it, and actually,
they announced it. I don't even know.
yes.
Announced
So
it today?
I think 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we didn't get a Slack message about it, but because we already knew about it, but we couldn't tell people. But the official announcement went out. So if you are
Where?
I don't remember the name of the place.
No, it's not on Instagram. Where did they announce it?
Oh, it's on the podcast and also on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, but the big thing about tickets. So if you are going to Las Vegas, if you're one of our 5 fans that are going to Las Vegas,
4 listeners. Continue. Did you have more to say?
I did. If what you want to do,
you were frozen.
No, I wasn't frozen. I was expecting you to jump in and talk over me for some reason.
No, I was waiting for you to elaborate on what you're saying.
Okay, so what you need to do, if you are one of our fans or listeners who are planning to go to Las Vegas, the Fan Geeks party is a great party between the Trek Geeks Podcast Network and Fansets. And we've picked a location, which I cannot think of the name of it. It's
this is useless. You have no information.
But all the information is the important information is
it's not on Twitter. I don't see it on Twitter.
Hold on. The important information is this: download the Trek Geeks iOS or Android app, and on Saturday, June 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern time, there's an announcements channel on that app, and it'll be replaced with a link that will take you to an Eventbrite page. You cannot find it on Eventbrite, so it's a private party. You can only go through the app and to this link to reserve your free tickets to the Fan Geeks party. You can reserve up to 2 tickets per person, it's free. It's going to be great. There's a lot of giveaways. You'll get to meet us and all of the rest of the Trek Geeks network.
I mean, you can meet people. I will be hiding in the hotel room.
You're not hiding in the hotel room. You're coming to dinner and to this party.
Oh my gosh, the party. I can't wait.
I am going to...
I love crowds. Just kidding. I don't. Continue.
We live in New York. This city is a crowd.
Yeah, but hello, I can stay in my apartment by myself for 6 days and be like, wait, when was the last time I went outside? I don't even remember. This is my
But yeah,
life.
you constantly have social plans on the weekend.
Yeah, but that's different. Continue. Keep on going. Are you done
Okay,
promoting
so
this party yet, or are you still elaborating?
yeah,
I'm
I
still
mean
trying
that's
to
pretty
find
much
the
it.
announcement to see if they said something on Twitter, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think they did. It's in their podcast.
Very exclusive.
There's a special podcast on the Trek Geeks podcast
I didn't even
about
download
it.
this app, by the way. Did you
You
download the
should,
app?
yeah, I downloaded the app. Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah,
there you are.
it's got all of our podcasts there. So if
You're so good. I'm like, oh my god, another app. Do I need this?
no, it's a great place to find all of the Trek Geek Podcast Network podcasts in, and also it's the only place to get the link to the Fan Geeks party. So
Unless you're a host of Trek Geeks podcast, in which case you're invited by default, and we don't have to sign up for anything.
correct,
Which is
but
awesome.
our listeners do, yes. So yeah, so come to the party. It's Friday night. There, look at him. He's downloading
I just downloaded
it.
the Trek Geeks.
Wow.
Trek Geeks podcast app. Oh, look, I see our podcast here.
Yeah, see, it's right there. So it's gonna be a great time. It's from 7 to 9:30, I think. And you can stay later and have drinks.
I was like,
and
that's
eat.
it? It's only a 2.5 hour party. That's not
Well, I mean, it can go on, but that's the time. It's free admission. We just ask that you eat and drink and be merry and come and hang out with us. And yeah, Fansets will be giving away a ton of giveaways. Also, if you come, if with your ticket gets a free Trek Fan Geeks pin for just coming. You get a free pin.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
An
cool.
exclusive pin that's only for people who get to who come to this party. So yeah, so plus tons of giveaways, and it's a lot of fun. What?
You can have mine.
I don't need two. Why would I need two?
Why do I want mine?
Oh my gosh.
You can take.
Where is Boimler, by the way? Why is he not
there? No, I have him.
Is he?
Yeah, he's so small that you can't see him on my shelf.
All right, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
See, there's still a little room. You could put the Fan Geeks pin next to it.
No.
Okay.
For our fans that don't know what we're talking about, Mike gave me a Boimler from Lower Decks pin, Trek Fansets pin, whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, great, thank you. But I just kind of scrolled it away for like 5 months because I don't like paraphernalia.
And then I yelled at you, and I even gave you a stand for it. It goes right next to the Picard Delta.
You were very insistent, and
I am.
I was like, fine.
Yes, there we go. Very good. So,
come to the party, get a free pin. Maybe take my pin because I don't want more pins. And maybe we'll see you, or maybe I will be in my hotel room.
No, that's not an option.
So.
We will bound and gag you and carry you. You don't weigh very much.
I make when I go to parties like that, I usually like to make like a guest appearance, a cameo, as you will. And then I disappear. I take the side exit. So
there'll be none of that. You're not leaving. You're not leaving me alone in Vegas.
We're gonna be, wait, what hotel is it at? Where's the location again? I think you said all this. All of it. I wasn't listening. I was trying to find the announcement on Twitter and couldn't.
The restaurant I want to say is like, it's not Bobby Flay's, it's Bobby Mahalo's, or I don't know what the name of it is. It's less than a mile away from the Vegas Hilton. Isn't that where we are? No, we're not at the Hilton. Where are we?
Rio?
The Rio? Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Okay.
Rio. Oh my God.
I don't know. You made that reservation. I made our flight reservations. I got us there and back again.
We've been talking about the Rio on and off for like months. And we're like, it's a crappy, shitty hotel, but the convention's there. Don't want to step outside into 130-degree weather. So this is where we're staying.
Right. But we are stepping out for dinners to go to actual restaurants, and we're stepping out for this party.
How
which is
far?
less than a mile away. It's like it's it's
We're taking
easy.
an Uber. I'm not walking that distance.
Yeah, no, I understand all of these things. Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying. I wanted to set expectations. I'm just
Oh
saying.
no, expectations have been set. I understand who I'm traveling with.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Anyway, so yeah, come to the party, but you have to download the Trek Geeks iOS app.
Oh my God. I feel we've been talking in circles for like 10 minutes. We're still talking about the app.
Well, you need to download that to get the link to buy the tickets for the party.
So many
But the
steps.
party is free. You don't have to buy them. You have to register them. But the only way to get the link is through the app. There you go. So that is that, and I'm excited to meet the guys at Fansets again. I met them in 2017, which they don't probably remember. So we're excited to meet our sponsors, Fansets, and also meet any fans who might be coming. So there we go.
So excited. I'm excited to meet everyone.
Yes, he is.
Yes. It's palpable.
Yes.
Palpable. All right, cool. Anything else in terms of announcements?
No, that's it.
All right, great. That was 15 minutes. I'm gonna get back. Okay, great. So why don't we move on to our pride prompt of the week, which Mike, you have prepared a question for us to discuss.
I understand, Mr. Spock. The glory of creation is in its infinite diversity.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
Yes, this week's pride prompt is the following. Who would be your ideal date from the Star Trek universe, and what would you do on that date?
Okay, so when you first told me this question, you didn't say it like that. You were like, what is your ideal date, and like who would it be with, or something like that, or like.
Yes, I did not specify that this was part of the Star Trek universe.
No.
I just figured that was implied since we do a Star Trek podcast. My apologies.
No, it was like, yeah, the phrasing is, who would be your ideal date and what would you do on that date? And then I was like, April 25th?
Yeah.
Wear like jacket.
Oh, man.
And you were so confused. You were really confused. And I was like, wait, do you not get this reference?
I did not.
And you did not. You did not get the reference, and I had to like go to the YouTube and like go to the Google search and be like Miss Congeniality, April 25th, and then you got it.
Yes, I understand it now.
And I was like, how should I know this? This is such an old joke.
I feel so much more cultured now.
It's a good scene, but it's a little bit old hat, which is why I use it. I thought you would know it. But you did not.
I did not. No, alas. No, that was a failed joke on your part.
It was. Well, apparently I don't know my audience. But anyway, I did not think about this question because I've just been, again, busy all day. Meetings. So Mike, why don't you go first in terms of your answer to this question?
Sure. So I have a couple of different answers. Well, one. All right. First of all,
it's like every time it's like a multi-tiered response. I'm like, oh my God.
I deeply think about these. I'm not like some like I could just spit out the answer and we can move on if you want.
All right.
But this is a podcast and we're here to talk.
All right. Say your mind. Speak your mind. Whatever. Speak your mind.
Are you gonna interrupt me and ride over me throughout this whole process?
Continue.
Okay.
Elaborate.
So I think my ideal date, and he's beginning to grow. He's grown on me because I'm in the midst of an Enterprise rewatch, right? So I am becoming a big fan of Trip.
Okay, he has so many feelings. Continue.
He does have a lot of feelings, but I also really love the relationship as it sort of develops over time between Trip and T'Pol. So that's where it gets complicated because I wouldn't mind being part of or going on a date with the two of them because I think it would be just interesting and fun. Like,
are we talking about like menage a trois kind of situation?
I mean,
or are we just like hanging out as friends?
I mean, whatever it is. I mean, the question
Vulcan,
says like,
Vulcan nerve, whatever,
oh
whatever.
yeah, the
What
nerd.
is it?
Yes, which they've just started doing
Like the
in
massages.
yeah, the massages. Yes,
Wait, what is it
um,
called?
neuro stimulus or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like just in the middle of
Yeah,
the shirt off.
yeah, that was a great scene where she introduced that to him and convinced him to take his shirt off. It was
Neural
great.
pressure, neural pressure.
Neural pressure, yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. So that's why. But I, you know, other than I just watched the cogenitor episode, and I wanted to jump through the TV or my screen and like throttle Trip for being so stupid because he
What happened in this
educate
episode?
he educates this third gender person
yes,
from
it's so annoying. I was so mad.
yes, I was too. I was like, you're such an idiot. Why are you doing this?
But you know what? Archer gives him like a pretty good talking to at the end.
Yeah, you know, the one thing though that I think is missing though is that Karen, I mean, so this was like episode 24 of 26 for season 2, I think. And yeah, there were 2 more episodes, and by the next episode is one of those things that was sort of forgotten and forgiven, which was unfortunate because I thought that really could have been I mean, it really was a hard lesson for Trip to learn. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. But anyway, so that's also, so yes, aside from being super frustrated and wanting to smack the crap out of Trip in that episode,
I know it was very frustrating.
I really do enjoy the character of Trip.
It was another like episode where it's like, what is this directive that we need? I don't know what to call it, but we need something.
Yes,
like one of those episodes. I was like,
yeah,
I mean, I understand.
You know, the tactical, it's sort of like prime directive, tactical alert, red alert.
Yeah,
they
go like
for
around, like
dancing around. Yeah, all of the things that make up modern or more modern, according to the timeline, more modern Star Trek. Anyway, so I think it would be cool to go on a date with him, and to Paul possibly. I think that would be interesting. Neuro pressure with the 2 of them would be very interesting, I think. But I'd say, so I have 2 choices. I really love their relationship as it forms through the Vulcan arc in season 4. So going to Vulcan with them, I think would be really interesting. But also, so as a throwback to Next Gen, I also think it would be fun to go with them to Rubicon 3 and have fun on the what?
What's Rubicon 3? I don't remember.
It's the Edo, so this scantily clad, like hot, like running around.
Now.
Yeah, so those are 2 of the things I was thinking in the Star Trek universe would be fun. You know, I think the more rote answer would be like, oh, let's go to Risa. Yeah, you know, yeah, sure. I also think about the planet that Archer was forced to take a vacation on. That looked kind of fun. I mean, all of them, aside from Trip and Malcolm getting kidnapped and tied up and half naked.
Hoshi had a good time.
Hoshi had a good time. Exactly. Hoshi had a good time. I think Archer had a good time, except it was part of a plot.
Yeah.
Later on, the plot, well, it was up to the point where he realized that she was not who all she meant to be. But anyway, so there's that planet too. I don't remember the name of that planet though. So there's a few other planets that I think.
Wasn't that Risa?
Was that Risa?
Yeah, it was Risa.
Oh, was it?
Yes, they like the characters that like Hoshi was talking
about.
Oh,
like, yeah. Right. It was Risa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get
that was a joke. It's like, oh, it's Risa. It's gonna be so relaxing, and none of them had a relaxing time except for Hoshi.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, I forgot it was Risa. I don't know why. I guess I thought because they kept on trying to get to Risa, and they had so many.
It took like 6 episodes to get to Risa.
Yeah, to get to Risa. Yeah. So maybe Risa too, but I think Rubicon 3 would be cool. I think going to Vulcan with Trip would be fun. Trip into Paul. So yeah, I'm just kind of open to but I think that the adventure that they had together and just I don't know, Vulcan is like would be cool to see. You know, it would just when you think about what you see
we are going to Nevada.
We are going. You're right. We are going to Earth's version of Vulcan, I guess. So yeah, so that's sort of where I kind of took it. I think that I would have the most fun with Trip, probably, and T'Pol in her more relaxed state of mind.
Her when she's in her PJs.
When she's in her PJs slash getting neuro pressure.
Neural pressure, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I kind of took it as a date thing. I was also, as I was thinking about Rubicon 3, I was like, young Riker without the beard actually was kind of cute too. He looked young. He would be fun. So there are a few obvious, I didn't even really get to Discovery or hang out with Wilson Cruz because you know what, the Stamets and Culber are the most in need of a vacation of any couple in Star Trek.
I know they really needs some R&R or something.
Yeah, they need a whole episode just to disappear and be on a planet with no scientific mysteries and no kidnappings and just having fun. They need Risa in the 31st or the 32nd century. So anyway, that is where Shore leave, yeah. So yeah, there are a few of my choices for fun times and dates, and I think Vulcan or Rubicon 3 would be cool. Even Risa, but early Risa, I think. I think as the more of the universe, sort of in Next Gen and DS9, I'm sure Risa was a lot more busy than it was when Archer and the Enterprise visited it. So yeah. That is my answer to that question. Now over to you, Johnson, who I'm scared for this answer. I have no idea. I already know where you're going, but
I told you
curious.
what it would be.
I'm curious who the date is going to be. Johnson, who is your ideal date? And please share with our listeners where you would like to go on a date.
Yeah, so I was trying to think about who I would want to go on a date with, and then it just popped into my mind. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, this could be a fun date. Roga Danar. Do you remember this guy?
Oh my gosh, really?
From The Hunted, and he's also Boimler's favorite badass, if you recall.
Of course, yes.
And why did I choose Roga Danar? I mean, other than the fact that he can outsmart basically everyone on the Enterprise, get out of a transporter field. I don't know. He's just this rugged guy. The Hunted is a season 3 episode as well, my earlier TNG episodes. And I remember kind of being attracted to him when I was younger, when I was in my early days before I even, I think knew I was gay. I found him kind of just attractive. And yeah, I wouldn't mind a guy that can throw me around a little bit, on a date. That'd be nice. But yeah, he's smart, genetically engineered. He can outsmart basically, the entire senior staff. Knows his way around a weapon. I could totally go for him, I think. And he has great hair. I agree with Boimler. And we would spend our time on the Enterprise D because, hey, it is indoors. I love being in an enclosed space that is environmentally controlled. And
you're in an enclosed space in space, literally.
In space, correct.
In a vacuum.
And, we could, we can go to Mott's, get haircuts. We can go to 10 Forward and, Guinan can get us drinks. And we can go to the holodeck and, he can throw me around. So, yeah, I would say that the Enterprise D, I mean, hello, all the amenities. We can go to Cetacean Ops and pet some dolphins. Hey, there are things to do. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I would say that, and we can, fly around the universe. So yeah, I think that, I would totally just stay in my quarters for the most part. We would stay in our quarters, but that would be the ideal date, I would say, for me.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow, that is very interesting.
Very specific. I was like, who? I don't know how it popped into my head. Literally, as we were started recording, I was like, oh yeah, I remember Rogadina.
Okay. Well, look at you. You and Boimler are more and more alike every day.
It's true. Cool. Anything else?
No, I think that's great. If our listeners want to share with us who their ideal date and where they would like to go on a date, that'd be cool. So you can email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com, or you can respond to our Instagram post that will have this question on it.
Sure.
And let us know there. Or you can DM us on Twitter. And Instagram and Twitter, we are at Deep Space Pride. So there we go.
Cool. All right. Well, that does it for our Pride prompt. So why don't we move on to the episode of the week?
You can't bury it, Kira.
What?
Do you recognize yourself in these people?
Me? Oh, not at all. They're content to die. I've always fought to stay alive. Oh. I don't want you to have the wrong impression of me, Opaka.
Just what impression do you think I have?
Did I enjoy any of this? I don't enjoy fighting. Yes, I've fought my entire life, but for a good cause, for our freedom, our independence. And it was brutal and ugly and but that's over for me now. That's not who I am. I don't want you to think that I am this violent person without a soul, without a conscience. That is not who I am.
Cool. So, Mike, what do we pick for our first underappreciated episode of Deep Space Nine?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say this is more your pick than mine. I was kind of like sure.
Yeah, I mean, this was just scrolling through the brief descriptions. I've not rewatched a lot of DS9, certainly not in the last year and a half since the pandemic. It is the one series. It is my favorite series, and I think I'm almost, I don't know if I really want to. I do want to go back and watch it. And I've watched a few episodes, but so we picked this one sort of blindly. You had feelings about it already. You were like, is it underappreciated? But I think it is. But I appreciate it too. It's episode 12 or 13. I forget how this works because it's episode 13.
It depends on if you count Emissary as one or two.
One or two, right? Yeah. So it's technically episode 13. It's battle lines, and the description is as follows: Kai Opaka, Bajor's spiritual leader, pays a surprise visit to the station. She does. There we go.
That's it.
That's it.
Our episode.
And I am a huge Kai Opaka fan. I was
only in like 3 episodes. Basically.
I know, but I don't know. Kai Opaka really gives me the same vibes as sort of Guinan does. Mm-hmm. Sort of a grandmotherly, why just such wisdom, and this is a great example of her wisdom, and her interaction with Kira in this episode is amazing. And also I've watched it twice. I rewatched it again today. And it's just you know, after watching it the first time, you know what happens, but you also just pick up on she is very distracted. Julian calls it right out off the bat. And you know, you've seen her in a couple episodes already, and she does seem slightly different in this episode. And you know, I the one piece that I wish we had more information about or had an opening scene about was just the prophecy that she was following.
I agree. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I wish I knew more about, was where she got the prophecy and what it said to her, just so we'd have some kind of guidance as to what was on her mind as she kind of did this. So, right. But she's very specific about like seeing the wormhole. You know, it just, everything kind of works out, right? Because the wormhole isn't going to open unless they go into it. Right. Because there's no ships coming
like,
through.
I'm going, bitch. We're going.
Yeah, and you know, one of the yeah, really, she knew what her fate was. She knew where the prophets were guiding her to, which I think is really interesting. Things just continue to happen throughout this episode that push the story along. And you know, another very brief scene that you see is she takes off this necklace and gives it to O'Brien in this just really powerful, like, you can see at that point, you realize like she's giving away stuff, like she's really leaving Bajor behind. And I thought that was a really touching.
I don't think we ever see this necklace again.
No, it would have been cool too, though, wouldn't have? Like to see Molly wearing it at some point. Yeah. Or see it hanging in the O'Brien's quarters. I think that would have been really kind of cool. Or some reference to it, like towards the end of the series, where Keiko is packing up to go back to Earth, right? And it just comes
so
up.
I mentioned this to you. I like this episode too, and we can circle back to some of the moments in a second. But yeah, I liked it, but I also thought it was a bit of a cliffhanger. Like, you know, I feel it was like a little bit unresolved. Like I would have loved to see Kai Opaka again at some point, or even hear about it. Like, because we do see Kai Opaka in visions, but it's unclear if it's really her or if it's like, you know, outside influence, because she was like very specific, like, you know, our paths will cross again at the end. And I think it'd been cool to kind of bring her back at some point, or revisit, like, you know, Bajor's spiritual leader who was stuck on this random moon in the Gamma Quadrant. You know, we don't, we never revisit the character, other than a few cameos, really. And it would have been cool to see, you know, how she progressed in her journey to bring peace to the Ennis and the Null Ennis, or whatever, or however they got along. You know, it would have been cool to revisit that somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I agree somewhat. I think that her story kind of wraps there in an interesting way, like the next phase. And it also, for me, I was thinking about it like she's ushered in this new era of Bajor, and now it's time for someone else to kind of carry the torch and carry it through this next phase of its existence and being. And so it's just kind of a...
And don't get me wrong, I love Kai Wynn. I've said this before. I love Kai Wynn.
I do not. I can't stand that evil woman.
She's so good. That's the thing.
No.
She's such a good foil. But yeah, like I know what you're saying, but I would have you know, it's just another opportunity that we never went back to. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like cubics or schisms.
Oh gosh.
It's like, oh
no, I mean,
you know, a little open-ended.
I think you know, I think it actually wraps up pretty tightly in the fact that there's nothing that Julian can do to save them. They can't be beamed off because but
he was like, oh, I'm never gonna stop, like, until
right, yeah.
Know, but we never hear about those again.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so he does make that statement, but he also does make it clear that the episode that there really isn't any way to help them. Like, so it's really now becomes just Kai Opaka's story with those people, the Ennis and the Null Ennis. So, that's sort of the end of her chapter with Bejor. So I sort of, that's the way I see it. Like, she ushered Bejor through the war and through the resistance and all of that, and now's a new phase where the Federation is present, and it's her journey continues on in a different way to help a different people. And so it's just I don't feel like it's as I agree that the statement about all two statements, right? Bashir's "I'll never stop working on a cure," and her statement to Cisco, to Ben, saying "our paths will cross again," does leave you wanting more. But I don't believe that this is really a cliffhanger episode. I don't feel like we're left on a cliff.
No, it's not like a cliffhanger. It's not like Breath of Both Worlds Part 1 cliffhanger, but it's more like, oh, there could be more, but it's also okay. It's kind of one of those. Like schisms.
Yeah. I mean, it fits schisms the same way,
Schisms level, yes.
Yeah.
Resolution, but it's like the door is kind of left open, And
it's left open like a crack, and this I would even say it's like a small window has been left open a tiny bit, but not a door for sure. For this one, they pretty much wrote it to conclude it. But I still would have liked to have known how she got the prophecy and all of that piece. I think that would have been a nice, even better opening scene than the one where they're looking at Kira's old.
You're talking about the Cardassian data file that was
like that whole scene actually I think was could have been cut for a scene on Bejor with Kai Opaka visiting with the having an experience with the orb of prophecy and the prophets telling her she must go to the station and for her next her next phase or whatever. So anyway, I think that all of the little things that she did up to that point, including,
she was like nudging them along. She was like, wait, are you sure you don't want to stay?
Yeah.
Wait, are you sure you don't want to check out this distress call?
Right.
Like, all right. We get you're thirsty.
Yeah, but things keep on happening, and then it's just interesting. It does sort of nudge along in the way.
She pushes along. She encourages it.
I mean, but the timing all is really, and it's actually really good. They're about to turn around, and then they get the signal, and shouldn't you investigate it? And we'll send someone to investigate it. And then what if people are there? And so it's just kind of interesting. Like, that whole process is really interesting. How that moves along. The one thing that I think about, rest in peace, the Yangtze Kiang. But also another good reason why Starfleet ships need seatbelts, right? Oh my god!
I was totally thinking this. I was like, are there no seatbelts? There's I don't understand. There's no what are the things in the cars?
Airbags or
yes, thank you. Oh my god! I was like, well, for our listeners, I don't drive, so I don't think about this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, like an airbag.
There's that. There's no seatbelts. There's no modern safety features except for inertial dampeners on ships. What happens? What happens when? But it's sort of a Star Trek trope from the beginning of the original series, right? None of those seats had. And in fact, they did even more moving around as as the ship got hit than any other series. I don't even think that Next Generation ever did that quite as well as the original series did. Although I think it was in the movies for the Next Generation that they actually built a set on some system where they could move
hydraulics.
Hydraulics, yeah. The bridge was actually one of the bridges of the Enterprise E was built on hydraulics.
I'm glad we can like find English words for each other. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this is what happens when you.
I'm tired.
No, I'm saying that this is what happens when you record on a Wednesday night. You know, it's halfway through the work week.
Anyway.
Stop whining.
Yes, I also did, as you referenced earlier, I also did really like the Kira. You know, again, Kira is like my favorite DS9 character. Definitely the conversation between her and Opaka, where she does her whole like spiritual leader thing where she doesn't like need to tell Kira like what the deal is. She helps Kira to come to the realization herself.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I agree. That was I enjoyed it even better the second time I watched it.
And I just really like how deep Kira's character is and how much how broken she is as a character, how how much baggage she has. And we see that we see her deal with that through all 7 seasons, but this was a great moment where she kind of had to come to terms with her violent past, like where she like that's honestly most of what she's known. Like I think like there was an episode where she said literally like she was carrying a gun as soon as she could walk or something, like
right.
She's been in the resistance for that long, so it's just like most of what she knows in her existence. So
yeah,
I thought that was a pretty powerful scene.
I agree. Yeah, it was definitely Kai telling her that this is their fight, not hers, and her saying, I fought to live, I didn't fight to die like these people, and then the breakdown. Also, I thought the emotional breakdown of Kira as Kai's body was pulled out of the wreckage was moderately believable.
Yeah, it was like moderately believable.
It wasn't it was slightly over dramatic for sure. And it was just it was definitely emotional. I mean, I felt the loss of the Kai at that point too. Thinking that this was her last episode, and then we had the bitch Win to deal with for the rest of the series. Yawn. Ugh.
Love her.
Anyway.
So good.
So I think it's a good standalone episode. It deals with fighting to live and people following prophecy and things like that. I just think it's a great leader passing away, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's definitely, would I call it underappreciated? It's not like appreciated. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like appreciated. It is Kai Opaka's last outing, so it is significant in that way. But I wouldn't say it's like top 50. That's actually a pretty hard.
No, but I think for the first season, I think this is one of those episodes that it is sort of underappreciated. Because it's you don't, if you're new to the series and you realize that this is the last time you really see the Kai who is a spiritual leader, it's sort of an ending of sorts, and the beginning of a political / spiritual turmoil, which is actually more political and less spiritual, because you have Win and then you have Bareilles sort of the spiritual piece, and Win is sort of the political piece of this. So,
it's not like I would say it's not like a heralded season 1 episode like Duet or something,
right? Yeah.
Which is another really great Kira episode. Hello,
Yeah. There are so many good episodes in this first season, but I think this is this highlights one of the differences between Deep Space Nine and Next Generation, right? Is the spiritual aspect of this people and of some of these characters, and I think it sort of stands out in that way alone. So.
Yeah, totally. So I think that about does it for Battle Lines. Did you have any final thoughts? Oh, one thing we didn't talk about is O'Brien and Jadzia like looking for them, and it got like really techy. Like they were like O'Brien was kind of like geeking out, and he was like,
Yep.
We can do like we can like send out like probes and then check for like something curve. I was like, what's that? And I looked it up. I like actually like Googled it, and it's a thing. It's like something along like along the lines of what he's talking about. It's like detecting like something like magnetic metal, like magnetic metals, just I don't know, magnetic something. Well, not all metals are magnetic, but he was talking about that, and then I was like, oh, this actually is kind of related, but I don't know enough to say either.
That's interesting. That's back when science was a thing for Star Trek.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
our biggest complaint about Discovery is
the Pod Directive. They had a episode. I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes ago, where they talked to the science consultant.
Yeah.
Her name is
Erin McDonald or something like that.
And I was like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, are they even listening to you? Like, I'm hoping like she's providing them with like actual scientific guidance, and they are just choosing to just be like, you know what, we need to do like something different for the sake of the story. Because I have some notes.
Yes, we definitely. I think the TARDIS interior of Discovery is my biggest note of that entire season.
I just have issues. I mean, like, there's some stuff that like I'm like okay, but then like some other stuff I'm kind of just like, there might be like a mix. It might be a mix of like poor science and bloopers, but for me, I'm just like, I don't know what this bitch is doing on the show. But anyway.
Well, she gives them advice, or they'll write to her with something and say, does this make sense? And she'll say yes or no, and she'll, she's not really a writer. She's not writing the stuff, and certainly she's not involved
she's a consultant.
And she's not involved in the VFX, right? Of that. Gosh, that just brings back
never get over
never forget the finale of Discovery, right?
Yeah, I hated it, remember?
I mean, that was the only part about it that I did hate was I enjoyed most of the rest of it, but the TARDIS interior of Discovery was just yeah.
Anyway. We can move on.
Reminiscing about that, but anyway, so that's
final notes about Battle Lines.
I definitely think it's a good episode. I think it's worth watching.
Hysteresis curve. That's what they said.
Oh, there we go. So, yeah. So that's
It just came to me. I don't know.
It's funny how some things are coming to you and other words are just escaping your mind completely.
Like airbag.
Airbag. Well, the whole thing about airbags, though, too, is that you don't drive. So why would you even think about airbags?
I know. It's definitely not top of mind.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's that's pretty much all. I would definitely recommend it. As I was watching that, I did end up watching The Storyteller today.
Oh, you did.
And Move Along Home. All right. The one I saw when I watched it the first time. So
yeah, that's all right.
Move Along Home was good. Storyteller was it's all right. But the episode about the Storyteller does get into a lot of it does kind of build up the Bajoran people a lot. That at least there are 3 groups of Bajorans in that whole episode that kind of and apparently they have different sects or different groups, and it's just
it's kind of interesting. It's like it makes sense. It's like a big planet, and
sure,
like maybe local cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's kind of interesting. So yeah. So as we kind of wrap up this season 1, of Deep Space Nine Underappreciated episode. What are we going to watch next week, Johnson, for season 2?
Yeah, so I was taking a look at season 2 and I was like, what can we watch? And this one episode jumped out at me. And I started watching it so we can, I'm halfway done so we can just talk about it. But it's Playing God, which is season 2, episode 17.
I love how you had to draw that out. Oh my god!
I was trying to make it as seamless as possible, but
I couldn't figure out if you were lagging because of Zoom or just spreading it out. And clearly, the answer was that you were just spreading it out.
Yeah.
So
I was giving myself time to
figure it out.
Remember, but this is a Dax-centric episode, so
okay.
Treat for you.
Yeah,
but it's where she essentially plays host to a potential Trill candidate or something.
Okay,
whatever.
Great.
So yeah, it's not bad. It's also not great.
What's the name of the episode again? Playing God.
Playing God.
Okay.
God. So
all right.
For those of you that want to follow along, pull up your Netflix or Amazon Prime or Paramount Plus and watch Playing God.
There we go.
Episode 17.
There we go. Well, all right, great. So that'll be next week's underappreciated episode of Deep Space Nine. There we go.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. All right. So why don't we get to our final segment and pay Deanna a visit?
Come in. Hi.
You got a minute?
Sure.
It's been a while since we've talked to Deanna, so I think this is great. So
yeah. So what's going on, Mike? What's going on? You go first.
Oh no, you talk this time. So why don't you tell us? So we're at the end of June. We're coming up on Pride weekend. And you are actually going to be in the city. So why don't we talk a little bit about what we're...
So are you? What are you talking about?
No, I know, but you were going to go out to Long Island with the Hamptons with some of your friends.
Yeah. So I was initially going to go out to the Hamptons with a couple friends because one of my friends just has a house in the Hamptons and he needed to go this weekend for something. And then it kind of just didn't happen because it's our other friend couldn't make it. So I was like, I don't want to go out to the Hamptons with just you, two of us, it wasn't a situation where I was like, oh, I don't want to hang out with you, but I'm like, a whole weekend with you, just two of us is a long time out in the Hamptons. So I was like, why don't we put a pin in this trip? But it was okay because I had a lot of other social events waiting in the wings for me. So
yes, you
did.
It
was very intense because I was kind of holding. I was telling people oh, I can't, I can do things because I'm planning to go out to the Hamptons, whatever. But it wasn't I didn't cancel things. It was more oh, I don't think I can do it. But let me get back to you. And yeah, I'm staying in the city. I'm having dinner with folks tomorrow, Friday night, Saturday lunch, Saturday dinner. It's already exhausting. I'm already exhausted thinking about it. And then we're getting together on Sunday.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
And then I had to not book anything Sunday night because I was I can't.
Oh, that's good. I think that's a wise choice. I think that we will be properly inebriated / lubricated with alcohol from Sunday's festivities.
I don't know. Do you think there are all the gays are gonna be at Tavern at the Green?
I don't know. I have no idea. What
gay hotspot.
No, definitely not. But it's it is right across from Sheep's Meadow, which is the big green lawn where all the gays hang out.
Yeah. shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless and Speedos and stuff like that. So
Yeah, well, Friday night I am having dinner in like with some friends in Chelsea, and it was difficult to find like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I was like calling a couple restaurants, and they were like, it's like one of the busiest nights of the year, right? I'm like, I don't understand. So yes, I'm excited though. It should be fun. I'm excited. Like
Yeah.
a weekend. So yeah. Wait, did you have other questions for me?
I did. We have previously talked about a date that you were going to go on. So we
I went
do
on
need to update our listeners on how your date went. And
yes. So the last time we talked about this, it was before the date, and I was chatting with you because I wanted to know, like, oh, like first date, should we do something a little bit different? Should we, other than like, go to get drinks, eat something? And you were like all for it. So I did propose to this guy, like, oh, you want to do XYZ? And he was like, he wasn't really into it. So I was like, all right, you want to get drinks? It was, whatever. And it was fine. It was like I thought he was cute. And we went to this like Mediterranean place because he has like a keto diet. So Mediterranean's usually. So I was like, let me find a place that is keto friendly. So we went to this Mediterranean place and we shared hummus, very keto friendly, I guess, and had drinks, and it was okay. Like, yeah, it was okay. Like he took if he listens to this podcast, that's fine. I don't really care. But like, he took a while to like articulate like his thoughts. It took him a while to like kind of gather his thoughts and say what he wanted to say. And sometimes I'm like that too. Sometimes it takes me a minute. Like I'm like, what's that word? Airbag? I can be like that too. But literally, it took him a while to just to get it out, like just to literally say what he was thinking, or he was like processing. And look, like English is not his first language, but he's also a writer. So I was like, oh, like when we were texting, like he seemed articulate. He seemed like we had banter, but in person, I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if, he just needed more time to think about what he wanted to say. It just took a while, and I don't have ADHD or anything, but I do sometimes have a short attention span. So I was, trying to hang on to every word. But sometimes it took him so long to kind of get out like what he was trying to articulate, that I got distracted. I started to like this like daydream. Like I started to like zone out and think about different things. So there were certain things that he said that I honestly did not catch, because I had already moved on. So that part was kind of like, yeah, that was a little bit, I wouldn't say it was off-putting, but I was like, oh man, if every conversation is like this, I don't know how long it can last. I need to be like doing something else or something while I'm waiting for him to like get out his thoughts. And towards the end, like we got a little bit flirty, like physically, and that was okay. And then he asked me out on like a second date, like 10 minutes after, after 10 minutes after we left each other. He texted me. He was like, hey, interested in a second date. And we have yet to kind of finalize that. Like we've literally been kind of going back, and he's not very responsive on text. So we kind of been going back and forth a little bit. Like it was like, we're trying to do this Thursday. No, this Friday. No. Now it's like next week. The date was like 2 weeks ago. I'm kind of just like, how much more should I kind of go back and forth on trying to schedule like another date? So it's one of those things.
Does he have a complicated schedule? I mean, you do tend to book a lot of social engagements with friends, so
I do, but he also seems to have like a busy schedule.
okay.
Like weekends don't really work well for him, and then weekdays he also has things. So it was like kind of tough even to schedule the first date. So it also doesn't help that he's not super responsive, and I've also slowed down in how responsive I am. So I'm not holding my breath. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, that was the first date.
Okay. That sounds, that's
No, it wasn't bad. I wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is great. It was kind of like, okay. So
okay. Well,
yeah,
we'll take it. One down.
One down. First date of 2021. So
there we go.
Hey.
Okay.
So yeah, and then work is just meetings. That's just long and short of it.
Agency life. Hashtag agency life.
Agency life is just like meetings.
Yeah.
It's just many meetings. So
yep.
And yeah, I think that's mostly it. In terms of like Deanna sharing time.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. What about you, Mike? What's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, well, we talked a little bit about it. Vacation is 3 weeks away. Super excited about that. Mm-hmm. Our mutual friend is coming back into town from Boston and is bringing his new significant other with him.
Yeah.
So we're hosting them here. So there's that. I was supposed to do a Pride run on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick up my bib tomorrow afternoon, and I'm hoping that I can talk to them and see if I can move my start time to earlier. It's set for 9:15, which I cannot absolutely not do.
Why?
And I think it's based upon my pace. But Tony also said, you should just go early in the morning and just run and be like,
Tony's
whatever.
We've mentioned him before. He's one of our friends.
Yeah. So he's actually not running this race, but a couple of mutual friends are running it, but I don't know what time they're running. But for me, it would be like, get up really early, go walk walk to Central Park, which is like a 20-25 minute walk from here.
So far.
And then run 4 mile, a 6K, so 4 miles. And then basically, depending on the time, run back to my apartment so that I can basically work at 9:30. So I don't know how this is all gonna work, but also, having to leave through the living room where our guests are staying at like 7 a.m. So it's just very complicated. So I don't know. I don't know how
to extend yourself.
So then, so it is what it is. So I don't know what to do, but we'll see if they say absolutely you cannot or whatever, then I'll be like, okay, well, I paid the money for the run. What else am I supposed to do? So there's that, and then
Saturday afternoon we have a round table or something.
Yeah, we're doing Infinite
Trek.
Yeah, we're on Infinite Trek for their Pride roundtable.
What are we talking about again?
LGBTQ plus representation in Star Trek, and we're basically going through the entire franchise.
Oh my god!
I think they'll be. I think Aaron's going to provide us
parameters.
Yeah, I think it's broken down into stages or whatever, and I think he's sending us notes on which episodes we might focus on, so that'll be helpful. So we have that, and then Sunday, I have a Pride thing for work in the morning, and then we have brunch. Then we have brunch. So so that's pretty much my weekend coming up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. No, there isn't. So what is going on?
I spilled water all over the table.
I thought you had gotten up to go to the bathroom really quickly
No.
while I was talking, and I was sort of at the end of what I was talking about. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this like what you did and say episode.
Yeah, I was clumsy and spilled water everywhere.
Okay.
It's fine now.
So I think that's really all that's going on. Wrapping up the year, like I said earlier, the program year and the fiscal year. So it's a lot going on there. And then
How are things with Dennis?
good. Yeah, we're really excited about our vacation. I think it'll be a great time for us. We always have fun together. So we actually
what's the most interesting thing you have on the agenda? Wow, that's exciting, huh?
Well, no, I'm trying to think basically I told him and he's in agreement. Like we need like 2 or 3 days just to be on the beach and like totally decompress.
Yeah.
So that was the first part of the vacation that I was like, we can book things later on, but I just need like 2 or 3 days to totally
yeah, that's great.
To decompress from technology and whatnot. And so so we have a luau we're going to on Monday night. While we're there, we've got a rental car for a couple of days, so we'll do some exploring of the island, possibly some hiking, probably some hiking.
Nature.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful nature out there, but
I'm yawning.
Yes, as you're falling asleep while I'm talking.
Tired.
So there's that, and then after a week-ish in Hawaii, we fly to San Francisco and spend a week in Napa, wine tasting and being in a cabin or a farmhouse or something that is very remote in Napa Valley. And
farmhouse.
I don't, it's whatever. It's like it's an Airbnb. So.
Oh God.
So it is, so it's going to be fun. It's just going to be total kind of decompression and nature. And we love going on wine tours. And, last night we went out for wine. And then after Dennis got off work and we were talking a little bit about it. And, it's like, we'll need to make sure that when we're out there tasting wines that we don't buy a lot of wine because we have to like pay for it to fly back or ship it back or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that is expensive. And if we can get the wines back here through one of the wine shops, then why buy wine out there to ship it back? So anyway, but we'll figure that all out. But we love going on wine tours and just tastings and having a good time. So we're pretty chill and we like to eat and it's just, it'll be fun. It'll be a good time and we'll do some running probably and just just total relaxing. And the funny thing is, so the other day, so we've gone on a couple of date nights this week.
Okay,
we went on a date night.
Love date night.
Was it Saturday night?
Sure.
Yeah, I think last Saturday night we went on a date night. I met him at a different wine bar after work. Actually, both of these have been sort of impromptu. Like we originally planned to have date night on Sunday night, and then he was like walking home from work on Saturday night and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I wasn't doing anything. I was probably just sort of chilling, and it was like, "Come meet me at this wine bar." And so we ended up having dinner out and wine. And the point of this story is that there was a couple across from us at the wine place that had a dog, and it was a very friendly dog. And we shared that, well, I mean, I haven't really shared this on the podcast, but, we talked a little bit about the fact that we're in the process of adopting. And So this is the first time I'm mentioning this, but it was funny because
I knew.
Yes, you knew, but not to the greater audience. And then the couple across from us is like, "Why don't you just adopt a dog?" And you know, I'm a little bit I did want a dog up until when I babysat or kid sat and dog sat for my sister, and I was like,
okay, that was also like what, 4 kids and 2 dogs or something?
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot. I don't know if that's a fair.
So I was like, I'm kind of over the dog thing. But then, so last night yesterday, Dennis texted me and said, maybe we should think about getting a dog.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? Who is this? What are you talking about? So I don't know. But, obviously the adoption process is taking a lot longer than we expected. And it's, I think but I don't know. We have a lot to talk about if we're going to get a dog. So
yeah, do you need another living creature in your apartment on top of 1 to 2 children or whatever?
Yeah, no, I don't think we do. I think, not in this place. This place is big enough for maybe one more living human being a kid. But I don't know about a kid and a dog and everything, so we'll see. I don't know, it's all interesting. So yeah, this is actually the first time I'm talking about a lot of this on the podcast, but this has been ongoing since we've met, right? So
yeah, it's not new news, at least to me.
It's not new news to you, yes, but to everyone else it would be. Yeah,
the potential idea of adopting a dog is new news.
Yeah. Well, this is literally happened yesterday.
What kind of dogs do they have?
They got a rescue dog. So he was actually only 6 months old, but
okay,
he's a medium-sized dog, but he was super friendly, and they had him since he was 2 months old. So he was mildly well behaved outside, and he was cute. But yeah, he gave, at one point he jumped up on both of our laps and
oh God,
gave us lots of dog kisses, and
oh God.
So it was fine. It was good. He was really super friendly and cute.
I don't like saliva.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a dog. We'll talk more about it probably on our vacation, but
yeah, maybe one thing at a time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've been in this adoption process for a long time now, and it is not progressing as we.
It's a drawn out process.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, but this is sort of normal. It does, you do, when you're adopting, you do kind of go through these phases where you're excited, and then you're a little frustrated, and then you're like questioning it a little bit, and like, is it going to happen? And why isn't it, all those sorts of things. So it's a process, and, I'm excited to be a parent. I know Dennis is too. So, but we're waiting for the right kid to come along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
totally.
And it's a lot of bureaucracy too. So, and we are adopting an older kid, like a 4 to 7 year old, ideally,
which technically should be easier.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's easier from the standpoint of, any trauma that they've experienced is easier to get over the younger they are.
Oh, no, I was going to say, just competitively speaking, because most parents want younger kids.
Yeah. It's a weird age group. There aren't a ton.
You guys almost want a tween.
Yeah, 7 or 8 is kind of the high end of that, but we'd prefer younger.
It's like 8 to 11.
Oh yeah, no, at the younger spectrum of that age,
it's like maybe.
Yeah.
lower range.
But I mean, so we're both people of strong faith, and we believe that the right kid will come along when it's time, and so but it's a process, and so we're kind of going through that process, different stages of that process right now. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. Plus,
I don't have anything like that.
I mean, we're both working full time, so it's there are a lot of considerations to, and both of us are going to continue to work full time. So it's not like it's, it's sort of it's a process. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the entire universe knows this.
Our 4 listeners.
All right. Yes, our 4 listeners know this now. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on here at. In my life,
in House of
Casa de Thurlow, yes.
Yeah. Whatever.
That's what I was gonna say, and I was like, well, it's sort of, you can't really say that because Dennis and I both live here, but so it's anyway. Mi casa.
Well, that's a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, yep.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for this episode.
I think so too. It's probably been a really long episode at this point.
So, Mike, did you want to talk a little bit more about our sponsor? If you haven't.
Sure. Yes, I can always talk about Fansets. Super excited to meet the guys out in Las Vegas in less than 2 months.
Oh my God!
But
so soon.
It is so soon. Yeah, absolutely. And
you have to make dinner reservations. Where are we going to eat? We're going to starve.
We are not going to starve. Definitely not going to starve. Oh my gosh, no. So yeah, I love Fansets. Obviously, I have a pin collection of my own, and I've been collecting from Fansets since 2017. I met them at. I knew of them through Discovering Trek, which was Bill and Dan's second podcast, right? Instead of Trek Geeks, it was their first kind of expansion. So yeah, and I went to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con in 2017, met them. Obviously, I don't expect them to remember. I don't necessarily remember, but they were really super nice. And I picked up my first set of pins there, and I've have picked up more pins at each Comic-Con that I've gone to, and also, through the pandemic, I've gotten a few here or there, including Boimler for you. I got Mariner for myself, and all of that. So anyway, all that to say is they have a ton of pins. Not just Star Trek, but obviously this is a Star Trek podcast, so we're going to talk about them.
Correct.
And they do have the newest one they do have, which is really cool, is a Section 31 Discovery Section 31 Delta full-size pin. And they are going to be having a magnetic one, so sort of a more wearable one coming out soon. They do have that anniversary collection, which is really cool, and you do get a free pin. If you buy the collection, there's 6 of them, and you get a free 7th pin, which is really cool. And if you put more than $30 worth of pins into your cart, you will get free shipping in the US. And if you use the code DS Pride, you'll get an additional 10% off. All caps. DS Pride.
Pins.
Yes. So, and also if you come to the Fan Geeks party in Las Vegas, you're going to get a free pin as part of your entry.
Maybe 2 if you take Johnson's. Thanks, Fansets.
Sure. Thanks, Fansets, for supporting Deep Space Pride and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Yay. All right. I think that about does it for this episode. Mike, is there anything else that you want to share with our loyal listeners?
No, I think that's it. We'd love to hear who your ideal date would be and where you'd like to go. So definitely hit us up on social or email. And
we would love to hear from you.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you again next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.